And welcome to Luxor or Luxor. Today we are exploring some more ancient tombs actually in the Valley of the Kings, for example. I'm super excited. I'm currently at the hostel. It's called Peace Garden Hostel and Camp, something like that. I really like the vibe here. It's really like earthy, hippie-ish, but I can't wait to head out. I've got to be honest. I'm so excited to explore Luxor. We've made it to the Valley of the Kings. We got here by taxi from our hostel. The owner arranged it for us and we're now exploring the Valley of the Kings, as I just said. We got the general ticket, which gives you access to 3 tombs, and then you can buy add-on tickets as well. So there's the Ramses the 5th and the 6th tomb, which is 220 Egyptian pounds, and then there's the Tutankhamun tomb that costs another 700. We got that one. We've had kind of mixed reviews about it, to be honest, but I guess it's one of those things where you're paying to see the mummy of King Tut, I guess, so it's going to be more expensive, but I'll let you know if it's worth it and stuff. And then there's another one which we didn't get the entrance to, which is worth like 2,000 Egyptian pounds. I just think that's a bit much, and we're seeing so many anyway. I think we'll be covered. But this is kind of the walk up. We've seen a few people like take buggies up, but we're just walking and hopefully it's not too far. So we're in our first tomb of the day and we used the general ticket to get in here, and this is the tomb of Ramses the 4th. This was already one of the most impressive tombs that we saw. As you can see, it's really well preserved. The colours are really vivid and there's hieroglyphs everywhere. Lots of different things to see within the tomb. It was actually also quite long as well. And to me, it was really fascinating to look at the hieroglyphs. We also went into the tomb of King Tutankhamun, as I mentioned earlier. And for this tomb, you're also paying to see King Tut rather than the tomb itself. I'm not going to show it, but they do have the mummy on display, which I'm not going to lie, I do think is a bit strange, especially considering one of the people working there was taking photos of people with the mummy, and I just think that is so strange and not something that I see the appeal of, to be honest. As a visitor, I think it's a bit disrespectful. You wouldn't be doing that with any other corpse, so why should you? Yeah, I don't know, it's just messed up on so many different levels and it's not something that I wanted to participate in. However, yeah, the tomb itself is not as big as some of the other ones and it's not as well decorated, or maybe it was, but it's not preserved as well. But as I said, what you're paying for is to see it's because it's King Tut. These clips are from a mixture of other tombs that we visited. This one was definitely our favourite one so far. We were undecided about which tomb we wanted to visit last, but I'm really glad that we went with this option. It was quite different from the other tomb. The style was quite different, I would say. It was quite unique, not like something else that we had seen. And we were, as I said, we were undecided which one to visit, but there were some people outside this one and they told us that it was totally worth it just because it's so unique and you can definitely see a difference compared to some of the other tombs. We're now visiting the Mortuary Temple of Hatshepsut. Almost fell over. Let's ignore that. But it's so pretty. It's kind of like, I forget the word. Like, for a lack of better words, kind of like built into the wall. You'll see what I mean. It's not a wall. It's like stone. It's carved into the rocks or the mountain, I guess. My brain is not braining right now, but Queen Hatshepsut's mortuary temple was built to honor the god Amun and to ensure that Hatshepsut's life story was told and to assert her power. It is certainly a really impressive temple, And it is actually the earliest large 18th dynasty structure to survive. So we've just finished up with the temple. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of like rush you through certain parts of it because they want to keep the queue going, but it was still really nice, still worth it, I would say. And yeah, it's 4 o'clock and it closes at 5 from what we've been told. After a long day of sightseeing, we decided to visit the bazaar in the evening. We didn't actually get anything, but some people that we were with did actually do some shopping, so it was nice to see. And the next day we visited Temple of Karnak. We're at Karnak Temple. This is Sphinx Avenue. This temple was really big, and there were so many people, as you can see in the clips, but it was so impressive. I can totally see why it's so popular, and it's definitely a must visit. You cannot visit Luxor and not go to Karnak Temple. It was just so impressive to walk around, and it took us half a day. Could have easily taken us a lot longer. We just had an itinerary and a bunch of things that we wanted to do within a limited time frame. But as I said, so impressive, and it's so worth spending some time here. I would even spend up to a day here easily, depends on how interested you are. There's this holy lake, and there's the temple over there. It's really impressive, guys. It's a massive temple. I think it's the biggest temple they built in ancient Egypt, actually, and it's really impressive to walk around. It's quite well preserved, to be honest. I mean, obviously it's ruins, but the hieroglyphs are quite well preserved, and it's really interesting to walk around. I'm really enjoying it. Me and PT have some company. We have 2 Norwegian ladies that we met at our hostel, and we're just hanging out together. We're walking around the temple together, and it's so much fun to be very vain. There's some great photo opportunities, and there's a lot of history. There's some signs around the building or around the temple area, but not so many, but you can read up on certain areas. And yeah, there's also guides here, but we didn't find one that we felt suited our needs, so we're just walking around by ourselves. It kind of looks like people are here in really big groups or just individually by themselves. It's also quite warm, actually. I know I'm walking around in a jumper. We made a stop at a little cafe, souvenir shop, and in the meantime, yeah, I just put my jumper on because it was a little bit chilly in the shade. But now we're back out walking. I'm probably gonna take it off because it's getting warm really fast. We wanted to go on a boat trip down the Nile, so we found someone, and this someone took us on his boat and took us down the Nile. It was quite spontaneous. We didn't pre-book it or anything. You can pre-book on Get Your Guide, I think, but the way we did it, it was just show up and hope for the best kind of thing, and it worked out quite well in the end. And yeah, the last thing we did in Luxor was actually to visit the Luxor Temple, and again, you need to visit this. I definitely recommend doing it close-ish to sunset or the second half of the day. As you can see, the way the sun sets and reflects off the temple and the shadows it creates, it's truly beautiful and magical. There's something about these temples that you can't really convey on camera. I think it's just purely the size of them. It just feels really surreal, and it's really difficult to comprehend how these structures were built thousands of years ago. But yeah, it was really interesting, and I definitely really enjoyed Luxor. I think maybe it was my favorite place in Egypt that we visited. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you are watching this because you are planning a trip to Luxor or Egypt in general, I really hope you enjoy. Have the best time ever, and I hope to see you in another video very soon. Bye!